Hi everyone, we are looking a little bit closer at Google Forms today. If you're interested in learning about how you can add Google Forms to your Google Classroom and also how you can add point values and answer keys to those Google Forms, this is the video that will show you how to do all of that stuff inside of Google Classroom. I'm going to click over into my classroom and the teacher view so that we can do a few samples together and look at some completed forms so you can learn how to access the results and sort through them to make it easier for grading for you. So this plus and create button at the top is your central box whenever you want to add something to your Google Classroom classwork. So let's click on that and you get a few options. Now for Google Forms, your best options are going to be assignment or quiz assignment. For both options, you can add or create a Google form. The only difference is that when you create a quiz assignment, you're telling Google that you want to create a Google form with point values already built in. If you create more of a survey or a Google form that doesn't really have correct answers, you can start from assignment and you can create a Google form to attach. In both instances, you'll have very similar, if not identical options, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use quiz assignment so that we can create a form that has some point values built in. I know that's something that's been very interesting to our students and to our teachers. So the assignment that pops up is a quiz assignment, and so let's call this a sample quiz PD. So this is going to be our sample quiz that we create together and kind of play with some of the functions here on the video. So in the instructions, I want to encourage you to be explicit with students about what you need them to do and how you want them to complete this assignment. Whenever I use a Google form, please make sure to click on the attached Google form to complete and submit your answers. Right? I want to always remind students that if there's something to click on, that I'm giving them instructions on when and where and how and really why they should be clicking, right? Attach the Google form to complete and submit your answers. So a blank quiz is already created on Google Classroom, so that's why we created the quiz assignment. If you created just a regular assignment, you could still add a Google form, but you would have to do it by either adding an existing Google form that you create on your Google Drive, or you can create a Google form right inside of Google Classroom and it will attach the same way that the quiz assignment did here. So blank quiz was generated for us because we said we want a assignment that is going to be a quiz assignment. If you notice at the bottom, whenever you call something a quiz, there is going to be a limit, so each student can only do your survey one time. That's helpful if you're, you don't want every student to send 5 or 6 different copies of their answers. And it also tells the student once they complete it using their Google account, they're not going to be able to go back in and do it again. So it forces students to be a little bit more careful with their answers. It will collect email addresses, which is really helpful, so you can attach student responses back to the student account, and it only restricts responses to people in our North Bronx Power domain. So you'll only be able to use this if you're logged into your North Bronx Google account. This is important. This is the #1 piece of troubleshooting advice I've been giving to students. If it tells you you don't have access, just make sure that you're logged into your Gmail account. You can tell them to check the top right hand of their screen, either in the Google Chrome account or when they're just in Google, it will also pop up inside of the web box. If kids say they don't have access, tell them and remind them to make sure that they are logged into their Google account. We'll need to edit this form because right now this Google form is blank. It's just a blank quiz Google form. So in order to edit the questions and set the point values and the correct answers, we'll have to click inside of that. So if you know Google Forms, this looks very familiar to you. If you don't know Google Forms, this may be new. This is the place where we edit the questions for Google Forms. So we call this the sample quiz for PD, and you have a description box where you can say more here. I suggest giving instructions repeated here because they will help students not have to click between different windows, but that's just kind of the name and instruction part. You'll get a default question that's being added, but basically you can click Add Question on the right side. That will give you an option to add any questions that you like, and if you see at the bottom there's a little trash symbol. If you click that trash, that is going to delete any extra questions that you don't want. So for a sample question, you may add any questions that you like, and you have the option to change the type of response that students will have to do. If you are an art or a phys ed teacher or a music teacher where you want students to upload a file, that gives them an option to upload a file as a response to a question. But if you're an ELA, math, science, or social studies teacher and you just want to have a multiple choice question, that is another option as well. The multiple choice ones are the easiest questions to set correct answers and point values for. You can set point values for short answer questions, and you can add an answer key, but I find that these questions are more accurate when the teacher grades those themselves. So you can definitely use them as well. I will show you a multiple choice question as a sample to show you how you can set the correct answer and point values and have it graded as well. So what color is the sky? Let's use a quick, easy question, and I'm going to put some answers. And blue, right? So what color is the sky? I would like to add an answer key. So if you see at the bottom, you'll have an answer key option. And when you clicked into answer key, the question changed a little bit. You have the answer choices, you have the number of points, you have a little done button at the bottom, and you have add answer feedback. Google is telling you to please choose correct answers, right? So in this case, I would like my students to click that the sky is blue. And I would like this to be worth 2 points for one of the questions on this quiz. Now, I can also add answer feedback, right? I could add incorrect answer feedback when a student picks the wrong answer. A pop-up when they submit their work will kind of teach them what they could have, what they should have been thinking about, or correct their incorrect answers. We can say red, yellow, and green may be colors you see sometimes, but the sky is generally accepted to be blue, right? We're not getting existential here, but giving some feedback. The correct answer, yes, the sky is blue, right? These are options you can add. You can also add a link or a video if you'd like students to learn more. Learn more about the sky here. And I could maybe even find a YouTube video that matches with the sky is blue. Why is the sky blue? I can attach that and save it so students will see the correct answer when they submit their work, and they'll even learn more about, I can leave extra resources as a response for the questions. So I'm still in my edit function. These are all the answer key functions. It still says choose correct answer. 2 points for this question, and notice at the top the total of my Google form has been entered. It's calculating the number of points total based on the questions I have. When I click done, I'm going to jump back out of the answer key, but back into the creation part of Google Forms. So I notice that there's a question, there's answer choices, I have an answer key that I have added, and I can even make the question required. If the question is not required when the students complete the form, they don't have to answer that form before they can submit. So if it's a required question, Google Forms will not allow the students to submit their work until they've answered all of the required questions. And now if I want to add another question, I can click at the top, add question. What color is the grass? And I can do the same thing with my answer choices, clicking into my answer key, making it a required question, and setting point values for the correct answer. So I would want to make that one green, maybe my other choices. And I've already identified in the answer key that green is the correct answer for this question. The total points will update because I have now 2 questions that are worth 2 points each. And if I click back to my form or my assignment, I like to reload. My sample quiz PD assignment is now updated. Sample quiz PD, and if I click, I'm now going to see the questions. So this first video kind of reviewed how you can add a Google form and how you can set point values to the quiz. The next video is going to show you how you can find all the answers.